Hi, welcome to Eye and Health Talk with Dr. Akram. I am Akram. In this program, we'll be talking about all kind of different health issues with different experts in the field. Today, we're going to talk something interesting. It's called I Am Not a Doctor. It's about a book. So sit back and relax. Enjoy your time with us. Are humans a unique race? There are about 100,000 species living in this world. They are all unique to themselves. The creatures are completely different. But human race is anatomically and physiologically is completely different. It's a different species. Certainly, things which are suitable for us are not suitable for others. For example, lions and tigers can thrive on meat. Cows can thrive on grass. But human, we cannot go so far with those diet. We need something in between. For example, if we take something which our body doesn't like, our body reacts immediately. Imagine first time you had a cigarette. Your body violently refuses it. But if you had it a second time and third time, but when you had about 100 times, your body doesn't feel it anymore, but you don't feel it anymore. But the effect on your body keep continuing. The destruction continues. In the end, you get the COPD or the cancer which comes. But the body give up because body has to spend a lot of energy to fight and tell you that what you're doing is wrong. This is all about this. My special guest today, he's coming especially from India. The reason I've chosen, because he has written a very important book. He had been researching for it for about 25 years to find an idea about this life and to give an explanation what to eat, how to live, and how to be happy. This is all about this book. And this is nobody else than Peter Theobold. He is a qualified chartered accountant, a software entrepreneur, and a network security evangelist. He wanted to find this truth about life and what to eat, how to live, and he practiced on him. And in the end, he learned a lot and decided to write a book. So let's welcome our special guest on show, Peter Theobold. And once he's there, we'll find out why did he write this book about. Peter, thank you very much for having my show today.
Well, it's my pleasure.
How are you feeling? Which part of India are you from?
I'm from Mumbai.
Mumbai, excellent. Peter, okay. That's amazing to have somebody from India. And we are all excited about your upcoming book. What is it called? Why is that name? I am not a doctor.
Well, see, the fact is that I am not a doctor. So normally you would expect.
I'm going to give you a chance to explain about yourself here.
Okay, fair enough. So basically, I'm a regular Indian guy. Like you said, I'm an accountant and I'm a software salesperson. But for the last 25 years, my passion has been about health and fitness. So I have read a lot, I have tried a lot of different things, and at the end of it, I've come to something which seems to have worked very well on myself and my family. So we've got a lot of benefits from this, immense amount of benefit for the last 25 years. I've had almost a disease-free life, able to do whatever I want to do. Whereas many of my friends of my age, my classmates, are having coronary heart disease or diabetes, they're popping pills and things. I luckily don't have any such kind of an issue, touch wood. So what I thought is if it could do so much good for me, I ought to share what I have learned and what I have practiced so that other people can get a similar benefit. So that's why I wrote the book.
Thank you very much, Peter. That's amazing. I have read your book as well. That's the reason I invited you to the program. And you've been recognized by one of my friends, and he has also read your book. Okay, let's see what is this book about. Let's play a small video and show what it is about.
Lose weight, gain health, reverse diseases like diabetes and heart disease, naturally and safely on a method backed by scientific evidence. This book is not just about weight loss, but for health gain and health maintenance throughout life. Freedom from disease is the goal. Based on insights gained by the author's experiments and practice over 25 years.
Okay, thank you very much for watching the small video. Peter, okay, I'm going to ask you again about the name. What made you choose this name? I am not a doctor.
Well, you see, I keep talking to people about health and fitness and nutrition, and they listen to me and they say, hey, but you're not a doctor. So what gives you the right to talk about this? What makes you think that you know? So instead of writing a book and then afterwards giving apologies and explanations and justifications that I'm not a doctor, I thought I'll put this up right in front and say, look, I'm not a doctor, but I do know quite a bit about this thing. And this is why I've written a book, and that's why you should read it. And I think it's a kind of a catchy name. You know, a lot of books like health and fitness and nutrition, there's a lot of books of those kinds going around. So this is, I thought, a little bit of a unique title.
That's very good, actually. Yeah, please.
In fact, this title has been suggested by a doctor in the UK called Dr. Alan Solomon.
That's amazing. You know, it's a very good title. I really like that name. I'm not a doctor. It says a lot. Because you don't have to be a doctor to know about your body, isn't it?
No, absolutely. Each and every one of us knows enough and more about our body. In fact, knows better than the doctor about our body. Because the doctor has an external view. We have an internal view, what we are feeling like inside, and that's what counts.
Exactly, that's right. You know, your body keep telling you and keep giving you signals when something goes wrong or when it's happy about it. But it's something we don't get that balance. We don't understand what's going on there, or we ignore it. Have you felt that?
It's very true because it's very true because you know when we are young, when we are babies, you know we feel hot, we feel cold, we feel hungry, we cry. You know we make our feelings, our reaction immediately known, and our parents take care of us, you know. But as we grow old, we are kind of conditioned by society, you know, to suppress our natural instincts and emotions and urges. And we tend to try to, you know, work around it or try to mask it or try to do something else, which not to pay attention to it. So supposing you are feeling very sleepy, your body's telling you sleep, but we say, no, I'll have a cup of coffee, I'll keep awake, you know. So in this way, we are trying to interfere with it, and the body, you know, it reacts and it copes, but then there is a price to be paid. And the price, when it's time to pay the price, it's very expensive. So
you know,
it might as well make sense to yeah.
That's a really good point you brought up here. That's why I really like your book. You know what you're writing there is about. You know, I have done my genetic test recently. The test came out, and there was something coincident which I didn't realize it. And one of the results from what it says is my wake up time is 7:32, and when I go back and think, if I sleep naturally and I wake up most of the time around 7:30 to 7:35 without an alarm. So your body is tuned to do something, and that's what you're talking about in your book.
Absolutely. Our body has got internal clocks, many clocks. And these clocks are set by natural signals, the sunrise, sunset, stuff like that, you know, the secretion of melatonin, dopamine, all these things. So the point is that we need to listen to the body. And when we listen to the body and do what it says, what it's telling us to do, we get the best possible results.
That's perfectly. Okay. Why is your book different than any other book in a shelf, like in a bookshop?
Yeah, it's a very good question because, you know, as far as health books are concerned, there are typically two kinds. One kind is the traditional book, you know, health, nutrition, you know, calories, vitamins, minerals, stuff like that, you know, all the scientific stuff. And the other books are the alternate stuff, which talks about natural, organic, hug the trees, use the magnets, stuff like that. So most health books, they either fall into this genre or that one. So what I have tried to do is to combine both. I have tried to say, okay, let's go the natural way. Let's do the natural things which are good for the body, but let's make sure that what we are doing is backed by science. There's a scientific basis to it. So what I'm suggesting is natural, but at the same time, I don't talk about anything risky. No risky things, nothing unsafe, nothing unproven. It's all tried, tested, and proven to work by doctors.
Excellent. Okay, we said roughly you've been researching about all these things for the last 25 years. Okay, was there a point you decided to go for this diet or to do different things? What was that breaking point in your life? When did you think that you need to change your life?
That's very interesting. It was 1996, and I was due to get married in a couple of months. And I was 100 kilograms, which is 220 pounds, or a little bit more than that. And, it was getting a bit tiresome. I went to attend a friend's wedding, and just standing at the wedding, I used to get tired. So, I realized that there's something wrong here. I can't get tired just standing. I need to lose weight, and I'm getting married and things. So luckily, I came across a book called Fit for Life by Harvey and Marilyn Diamond. And I read the book, and then I decided to do what it says, and it changed my life. And, in the first week, I lost 1 kilogram, and the second week, one more, and so on and so forth, until, it went all the way. And then I became fit and trim again. I could wear my jeans, which I used to wear in college. So, things went pretty well. And then I realized that, hey, this is not just a system about weight loss, but it's a system about health. So then I started studying more about it. I read the second book, third book. I came to the UK. In fact, one of the leading practitioners of the science of natural hygiene, which I follow, is lived in the UK. His name is Dr. Keki Sidhwa, and he lived in a place called Frinton-on-Sea. And I visited him there, actually, and I learned a lot from him. He's passed away, unfortunately, but that's how this whole thing started. It started as a weight loss thing, and it turned into something, the goal being freedom from disease lifelong.
I've been doing lots of food related programs and a lot of weight related programs, and I've been researching a lot as well. And I see there's a lot of similarities in your lifestyle and your book to something called blue zones in the world. There are about 5 zones in the world where people tend to live to up to 100. And they have this kind of a lifestyle what is very similar to what you explain in your book. And I was surprised to find out somebody from Mumbai comes out with a book, and he's following this personal the way of life. But anyway, if anyone joined today, this is a live program, so you can call us, and our number out there, let me check it. Okay, it's 0203 515 5788 in case you can't read it. You can call us and ask any questions, and you can especially direct the questions to Peter as well. He's very happy to answer. But otherwise, we're talking about something really important. This is a book called I'm Not a Doctor. But we're going to go for a quick short break, and I'll see you afterwards. Thank you. Hi, welcome back to Iron Health Talk with Dr. Akram. Today we're talking something really important. This is called I Am Not a Doctor. It's a book written by Peter Theobold. He's a qualified chartered accountant and software entrepreneur and network security evangelist. He's not a doctor, but he has studied a lot about his particular life and what he can eat, what he can do, what his body says, and he was interested in sharing his experience in a book called I Am Not a Doctor. Peter, thank you very much for being with us again. Okay, let's talk about personal responsibility for health. What do you mean in your book?
In what we do, how we live, and what is the level of health that we enjoy. If you eat well, sleep well, Do the right things, you have one level of health. And if you do the wrong things, you have a different level of health. And there's a direct connection. People don't see this. So, you smoke a cigarette, you have a peg of whiskey, or you do a late night, and that impacts your health. So you don't see that. And when you do it over a long period of time, it does show up as, a health problem. But the point is that when this health problem shows up, you don't take responsibility. You don't say that it's what I did that caused the problem. You say, oh, there's a problem. Let me go to a doctor, pop a pill, take a medicine, whatever. The first thing to understand is that you have to take responsibility for your health, that you are how healthy you are because of what you are doing. So that's the first step. And the second thing is, once you have the responsibility of your health, then you have to do something about it. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody can live healthily for you. Nobody can exercise for you. You cannot outsource your health to your doctor, trainer. It doesn't work. It is your own thing.
That's very good. I think you said 2 points, which I really like it. Okay, Peter, I'm going to join a caller as well to the program before we go ahead. Hello? Hello?
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Hello, walaikum assalam. Thank you for calling us. What's your name, sir?
আমি লন্ডন তাই করছি আমি জানতাম চাইছিলাম ডাক্তার বাংলা মাত লইবনি
Okay, you're talking in Bangla, and the studio will translate it, and they will come back to me. Until then, okay, we're going to continue the program, and Peter, they will translate it for us anyways. It's a caller from
sure.
Bangladesh origin. Okay, you said about pill. That's very important. A lot of people I see, even in my practice as well, in my families as well, they do the damage over the years, and they have the knee pain, or they develop diabetes, and they come to you and they said, oh, can you prescribe a pill? They think that magic pill which you give will sort out everything they have done for years and years. And the other thing is the outsource. Yes, it's not an internet company. Your life is with you, isn't it? You can't outsource everything to India and China. I know you would like to have that one. You can start a company and outsource your health, but unfortunately we can't do it. We have to do it ourselves. That is really important. This point what you are bringing out here. This giving the responsibility of your health to yourself. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? How come you decide to do that? Like, how did you take the responsibility in your hand and you wanted to go ahead with it?
Well, it's very simple. I was 30 years old. I tried everything, and I was probably extremely unhealthy, and I had to do something about it. And when I tried what is written in this book and it worked, I realized, hey, the remote control of my life is in my hand. Nobody else is pressing the remote control and saying, okay, do this, do that. I can decide what I want to do. And when I do that, I get the benefit. So, hey, I'm back in control of my life. So that was a eureka moment. I said, hey, I can do this. I get this. So then the thing is, I keep doing it. I keep improving and keep learning, and I keep getting the benefit. And it's a direct feedback loop.
Okay, that's a good point you said. Now, I'm going to ask you a different question here. Is this life possible for anyone, or is it somebody like you? You've been a chartered accountant, you went to universities. I'm going to tell a Bangladeshi housewife who is sitting down in England, and or maybe a shop owner who is busy with his life. Can they both have this kind of lifestyle?
Yeah, actually, it is the way we used to live. I mean, I'm not asking you to have kefir milkshake or blueberries or quinoa or any of this exotic stuff. I'm not asking you to eat a standard diet. You have to eat what was at your ancestors' table. That's one way of looking at it. You have to go back to your roots. If you're a Bangladeshi person, you have rice. If you're somebody in the UK, you may have bread. If you're somebody in India, you may have roti and sabzi. So you have to go back to what is, climatically suited to you, what is naturally available, local, seasonal. It's very much possible. In fact, it's easier and cheaper and healthier.
That's very good. There's another thing which is coming up as well. Is a lot being talked about in the medical circle is to eat what your ancestors ate. That is really good point, because our genes had been developing with us for hundred thousands of years, and those genes being used to that kind of food, and suddenly now we became rich and we have started changing. We have started buying carbohydrate from America as wheat, and then we import things from Brazil in a different format as a meat or something like that, and that's why our body cannot handle these things. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. We have grown up, our genes are suited. In fact, even the food that grows around us is suited for us. So if you import kiwis from New Zealand or apples from California, it's not at the right time. So, for example, you get mangoes in India in the hot season, So it's all a very finely tuned system. And if we follow it, it works.
Yeah, that's a good point. You said mangoes always comes in the hot season. Mangoes got lots of water in it, and it's got a lot of fiber. So there's a high possibility during the hot season you tend to all your food gets stuck because you lose a lot of water, and this eating mangoes ease your digestive systems, and it'll give you lots of fibers and water. That's amazing. A good point you're bringing out here. Overall, improving your health, slowing down. What does your book say about this?
See, it's very, very important to slow down, because we generally are living our life too fast. Imagine if you're driving a car, if you're driving it at 100 kilometers per hour, can you really observe what is there going on around you? Can you look at the scenery? Can you be aware of the cars which are going in front of you, behind you, a pedestrian who's suddenly coming in the way? So when we go very fast, we lose the ability to observe what is going on around us, to respond to it, to make course corrections. So going fast, there are some times in life when you need to go fast. You have to catch a train or a flight and you're running late, you have to run, you have to go fast. But the problem is if we go fast all the time, when we are not required to go fast. If you're eating, for example, if you eat very fast, it takes about 20 minutes for the signal from your gut to go to your brain that you've had enough food. And if you're going on eating too fast, you're watching TV and having a Coca-Cola or something, you might have a lot more than what's good for you, and you won't even know. So we need to slow down to be able to see the effect of what we are doing, be it eating or exercise. Even if exercising, if you're going too fast, you might hurt yourself. If you go slow, you can correct.
That's a good point you brought out again about the food, eating too fast, because the signals take time. It's a connection from your stomach to the brain. It's the stretch receptors and other chemical receptors, which takes roughly about 20 minutes. So that's why you need to eat slowly, and your body has enough time to act and say, okay, that's enough, you cut down.
Yeah, you know what I do? I have Alexa at home. And when I sit down at my meal, I say, Alexa, set an alarm in 20 minutes. And then I start eating. So that's how you use technology. You use modern technology to help you live naturally.
Okay. Now we talked a lot about your lifestyle and what you're supposed to do. And let's talk about your diet now. What is your diet and why?
Okay. So, if you want to know, technically speaking, people ask me, oh, do you follow a vegan diet, or do you follow a vegetarian diet, or a paleo diet, or a hunter-gatherer diet, or whatever? There's so many diets, a Mediterranean diet, the blue zone, you spoke about the blue zone diet, which is followed by people in Okinawa and parts of Italy and certain parts of the US. So what I like to say is that I follow an evidence-based diet. I follow a diet which is backed by evidence. And if you want to know what it is, in a sentence, I can tell you it's called a whole foods plant-based diet.
It's a whole food
plant-based
diet. Yeah. What does it mean for normal, simple people?
Yeah. What does it mean? Yeah. So okay. So to make it very simple, when I get up in the morning, breakfast is usually a lot of fresh fruit, whatever is there in season, and I have a simple meal. It could be a slice of bread with some oatmeal, or if it's I could have an South Indian meal called an idli, or stuff like that. Something very, very simple and light, along with a lot of fruit. This is what I have for breakfast. Sometimes I might have some sprouts if they're there. So this is typically what my breakfast is. For lunch, it's very simple. I have a great big raw salad, and then I follow that with, either a rice and dal and some vegetables, or maybe a chapati and some vegetables, and that's my lunch. So it's salad, and then grains and some lentils and some vegetables. So this is a lunch. The dinner is pretty similar to that. Only thing is, if I have a chapati or a wheat in the afternoon, I might have a rice in the evening, or the other way around. And I try to keep my evening meal a bit light. It's funny, the same food which you eat in the morning and the night, you tend to put on more weight if you eat the same food at night, which is amazing. So it's better to front load your calories and eat more in the day, and kind of, as the day goes by, reduce. So like they say, eat breakfast like a king and lunch like a prince and dinner like a pauper. It actually makes sense.
That's very, very interesting. You said like you eat rice. What kind of rice are you allowed to eat? Can you eat any rice, or do you have particular rice here?
Well, ideally, what you should do is have what you call as unpolished rice. And these days, it is very freely available in all health food stores, and very often in supermarkets too. So what happens is, when you polish the rice, you're getting rid of all the bran, all the fiber, all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the nutrients. Yeah, you're getting the plain carbohydrate. So it would be, it's like, you're getting a nice glass of a can of juice, and you're throwing away the juice and having the can. So it's quite foolish to throw away what nature is giving you and take only part of it. But that said, you could probably even do okay with plain white rice. It's still carbohydrate. It's still not bad. You're missing out on some stuff, but it's still not. So it's still okay. So what I would say is, if you can get brown rice or unpolished rice, what they call it, that's great. If you can't, well, do what you have to do.
Right. Wheat. Are they allowed to eat any kind of wheat, or you don't eat wheat at all?
No, again, the same thing. See, there is basically two kinds of wheat. One is the whole wheat flour, and the second is the refined white flour. So, and this is very, very easily available. I mean, everywhere. You just ask a guy for a brown bread or a whole wheat bread, and you're good to go. And it has all the vitamins, minerals, fibers, and everything. So that's something I would definitely not recommend eating white bread. It's so much easier and cheaper and simpler to get whole wheat bread. Just go for that.
Okay, that's really important what you said. I've been reading a lot about as well about the wheat, how it is made. The refined wheat get only the inner part of the wheat, so they take all the fibers out, all the vitamins out, and that's which makes the absorption slower as well, isn't it? So you just take this refined food and it get absorbed. It's like setting fire to this paper. It's very easy to set fire to this paper, but if you have a wood, you have to make it. You have to work hard to burn it, and it doesn't burn as well completely. It takes time, and that's very similar.
Absolutely.
Peter.
I mean, it's a concept of a glycemic index. White rice is a glycemic index of 100. It's like fuel to the fire. So it hits your bloodstream straight away. Your blood sugar spikes, and then you have all kinds of problems. So whereas if you have a whole wheat, it's a lot slower.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more about it. But anyway, anyone joined, we're talking about a book called I Am Not a Doctor. This is a diet book, but it's based on whole life and how to control your life and how to understand your life and how to listen to your body. And we're going to go for a quick short break, and after that I'll see you afterwards. Thank you. Hi, welcome back to Iron Health Talk with Dr. Akram. Today we're talking about a book called I Am Not a Doctor. It's been written by Peter Theobold. He's a qualified chartered accountant and a software entrepreneur and a network security evangelist. And Peter has been on doing this research for 25 years. and that became his passion, and he wanted to write and share his experience with us, especially today in this show. Peter, let's talk about, it looked like you eating a vegetarian, or it's vegetarian based diet. What about protein? What kind of protein you get? Do you eat meat?
That's a very good question. And if I could get $1 for every time I ask the question, I'll be a very rich man. To cut a long story short, no, I don't eat meat. And the reason I don't eat meat is because I don't need to. I could if I wished. I don't need to. Meat is very good. It has a lot of proteins and stuff, but it comes with so much of baggage, so much of problems that it's best avoided. And when it's possible to, have adequate protein on a normal diet, why should I bother? Take all the trouble. So, for example, if you want to know, the nutritional standards are 0.8 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. So a normal person of about 60 kgs would need about maybe 45 grams of protein. It's pretty easy, So like I just have here for you, this is a regular chapati, which we have, and it's got 3 grams of protein. You have 4 of these, you're 12 grams done. If you have a cup of dal, like what I have here right now here, it has to be a little bit a thick dal, mind you. It can't be the watery thing that you can pour like a drink. This cup of dal has got, again, 6 calories. So if you just have 4 chapatis, a dal, and you have it twice a day, and maybe you have a handful of nuts like peanuts or almonds or whatever, you're good to go. You can very, very easily meet all your requirements. Tell me, Dr. Akram, when is the last time you heard in the newspaper of somebody dying from a protein deficiency? You hear of corona, COVID, you heard of diabetes. Who died of protein deficiency? To cut
That's
a long
a very
story
good
short,
point. Yes, yeah, that's true.
To cut a long story short, if you're eating an adequate diet with enough calories from varied sources, you can't have a protein deficiency. Even potatoes have protein.
That's true. That's very good answer. I like it. Okay, let's talk about milk and cheese. Oh, what's that called? Paneer or something. Can you eat that?
See, I would like you to stop you for a minute and take you back and just picture this. Just picture this in your mind's eye, okay? That you are a human being and you are hungry or thirsty, and you go to the farm and you go underneath a cow, underneath its udders, and you start drinking the milk from the cow's udders. Is this natural? You need to ask yourself. I mean, it seems natural to go to the fridge and take out a bottle of milk and drink. But what you're actually doing is you're going underneath and you're suckling from a cow. Is that what a human being is supposed to do? That's something you need to ask yourself. You're disguising it by putting it in a bottle, but this is what you're actually doing. And there's lots and lots and lots of problems, and my book covers it in detail. But to cut a long story short, every milk is species specific. Cow's milk is meant for calves. Cat milk is meant for kittens. Human milk is meant for human beings. Breast milk. Yes, breast milk is the best food for us when we are babies and infants. After the age of 4 or 6 or 8, most of us lose the ability to digest lactose, which is milk sugar. We lose an enzyme called lactase. So most of us are lactose intolerant, and having this milk or cheese or butter, though it may be tasty, it's not at all good for us. It's a very long topic. We can talk 45 minutes about it, but I'll stop right now.
Exactly, that's a very good point. At least people can read your book and they can get more insight about protein, milk, cheese. Okay, sports person, people want to build up their body. Can they build up on this vegetarian diet? They eat lots of protein shakes.
Yeah, so like I said, here, this is my book, by the way, and here you can see a photograph here. I don't know if you can see this clearly.
Yeah, it's called
here, kind of a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a guy called Patrick Bobubnian. He's the strongest guy in the world. He can pull trucks with his teeth, and he's vegan. Okay?
He's vegan.
No milk, no cheese, nothing. If you look at, Novak Djokovic, who is the Wimbledon champion, look at Scott Jurek, if you follow cricket, look at Virat Kohli. All these
Virat Kohli he's a vegan, and Djokovic as well.
Yes, and Djokovic. And even, Martina Navratilova. In fact, I would simply say there's a movie on Netflix called Game Changers. Just watch that.
Game Changers.
It'll give you a very good idea how athletes and bodybuilders and sports people can thrive. In fact, do better on a diet which doesn't have any animal products.
Animal products. That's really important, and even I couldn't believe until I read your book that even a sports person could do without eating meat. Now, of course, I eat meat. I started reducing a bit after I've been reading more and more about these health issues. But yeah, I mean, one day I might consider giving up. Let's see. It's in a long time. Anyway, your fasting schedule, how does it work? You said you fast as well.
Well, fasting is what I would prefer to call it time restricted eating, which means I don't keep eating I don't keep grazing like a cow all day. What I do is I try to have my last meal of the day, something like about 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the evening. And the next meal is about 8 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning. So I try to see at least a 12-hour period from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. when I'm not eating. So I'm actually fasting for 12 hours out of 24 hours a day. And that gives the body a rest. It gives it a break. It gives it time to process what you have eaten. So that would be the simplest thing I would recommend. Eat your food between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. If you can even make it shorter, like 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., even better. But at least try to keep 12 hours a day where you don't have any food.
That's very good, and that's easy as well. Most of the time you'll be sleeping anyway. Secrets of a healthy lifestyle. Is it only diet?
Well, again, Dr. Keki Sidhwa of the UK told me, what is if you're driving a bicycle, Dr. Akram, what is the most important part of a bicycle? Can you tell me?
Well, maybe the handle. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe the handle. Somebody would say that. Somebody would say the handle. Somebody would say the brake. Somebody would say the light. Somebody would say the wheel. Yeah, but the point is, what is the most important part is the missing part. The one part which is not there, that becomes the most important.
That's
the same thing with health.
Perfect. Health, yeah.
The same thing with health. Diet is important. Exercise is important. Sleep is important. Fresh air is important. Sunshine is important. All of it is important. And what you don't have, what you are missing, that is the most important, because that's going to cause a problem for you.
That's going to cause the problem. That's perfect. That's a very, 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 very good answer. But how many hours do you recommend to exercise or do walking, or what kind of things they're supposed to do?
Well, there are so many standards from by the government, but 150 minutes a week of moderate exercise is good enough. Any amount helps. Any amount helps.
Of course, yeah. The minimum is that. Okay, you are talking about in a book about disease prevention, especially you're talking about diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, and even obesity. Of course, obesity we can understand with proper diet, you could bring it down. But how come your diabetes, hypertension, and cardiovascular system? How does it work?
Yeah, actually, it's very interesting, and it's not just about prevention; it's about reversal. I know people who have reversed their diabetes. They go for a HbA1c test and it's now back to 5 or 5.5 is normal. So the point is, when you are diabetes and high blood pressure or coronary heart disease are lifestyle diseases. They're caused by our lifestyle. It's not caused by a virus or a germ. It's caused by a lifestyle. So the point is, the lifestyle is causing this problem, and therefore it has to be cured and handled by the lifestyle. It cannot be handled any other way.
Exactly. There is no point treating the symptoms and what has caused it.
Yeah.
So we need to go into the root cause of the problem and treat the root cause, and you get rid of the problem. That's a good way, good approach.
And the root cause actually is diet related.
Is diet related. Do you suggest anything specially for diabetes people in your book?
Well, all I would say is, there is a book called, How to Reverse Diabetes by Dr. Neil Barnard. I would recommend you read the book.
So
I have touched upon this topic in my book.
Dr. Neil Barnard. And it says How to Reverse Diabetes. Yeah.
Bernard. Yeah,
Bernard, yeah?
So,
okay.
Bernard, yeah. To cut a long story short, get off animal products and get off refined sugar and any refined products. You're good to go. It's as simple as that, literally.
That's very good. And hypertension is probably similar stuff? Just changing your diet?
It's actually the same. It's the same thing. The body reacts in different ways. When you take away all the stuff, when you stop poking it with a fork 3 times a day, every time you're eating a meal, you have a fork in your hand. You're actually poking your body with the fork, And if you keep doing that 3 times a day, 365 days a year, it's going to cause problem.
There are two
Some people
important
have
things.
diabetes, some have hypertension,
Yeah.
whatever.
Two important things, especially the so-called developing countries like India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, the countries like that. We used to, when probably about 20 years ago, we never had so many people who are obese and with diabetes. Now it is quite rampant. India is one of the topmost countries in the diabetic chart, and Bangladesh, of course, Sri Lanka is catching up as well. And if you think most of them, like at least 60% of them, they eat a vegetarian-based diet in those countries. Where are they going wrong here?
Well, the problem is the milk, the dairy products, the milk, the butter, the cheese, the paneer, the ghee, the lassi, all that stuff, and the ice creams and the cakes and the puddings and the biscuits and the bread, all these things have got dairy products in them. And dairy product is an animal product which causes health problems. And 2 other things cause problems: refined foods like white bread, white sugar, and processed foods which come in a can, jar, packet, bottle. Vegetarians have the same problem as non-vegetarians because of these things: animal products, processed foods, and refined foods. Which is why I say whole foods, plant-based diet.
That's a very, very good form. You made it really short and it's very clear. It's like you basically said this is the animal food, milk, and refined food. What are the particular challenges and processed food, particular challenges with your lifestyle?
Well, it's like this, that it's a social thing, your friends, your family, will come and say, hey, I just made this cake for you, or I cooked this special tandoori chicken, why are you living this way? Why are you torturing? You're going for a party and everybody's drinking. Why are you not drinking? So it's a social pressures which actually cause a lot of challenge. So we have to learn how to handle it diplomatically without, putting people off, but at the same time, we need to do what's good for us.
Exactly, but anyway, you need to enjoy your life as well, to live long and to be happy, because this life is not to punish yourself with certain amount of certain kind of food, isn't it? You try to approach everything in an enjoyable fashion. I saw that you've been climbing mountains as well. You went to base camp?
Yeah, I did the Everest base camp trek last year. Went up to 18,000 feet. So I'm 54 years old, so I was able to do it. So I think my lifestyle contributed a great deal
Peter,
to being able to do this.
Thank you very much. We are coming to almost to end of the show. Do you want to pass a quick message for anyone?
Well, all I'd say is, if I had only one thing to say, increase the quantity of increase the quantity of fiber in your diet from different sources. That's it. So if you have a lot of fruit, you have a lot of vegetables, you have whole grains, if you have lentils, dal, chickpeas, you're doing good. That's all. Just increase the amount of fiber in your diet from different sources and you'll be good to go.
Peter, thank you very much for joining from Bombay, from India. It must be really late for you. Anyway, we really enjoyed your talk, and a lot of people are waiting to read your book, and it should be soon, as you said, in Amazon. Anyway, thank you for all of you to be with us today in the special program. If you have any further question, you can always message us on our Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, Instagram. And until we see you in a similar program next week, look after yourself. Thank you very much.